Hello friends, hello fans, hello loyal audience. Uh, this is video number 8 of the Matrix Dissected and Loaded, the next level. So this is the second series. Again, I will recommend those who want to watch this particular series to watch the first one, the first series, and then finish it. And then, because I'm not going to explain everything in the second series or the next level, that which I did in the first series, right? Some points that I will highlight or elucidate on do correspond to the points I explained in the first series. However, I may have shed more lights on it and have better understanding of it. So the first adjustment, I have some more information or adjustment to do on the points I've done in video number 7.
Combined with the form of
So here, what we have here is, I said they're being bugged. You know, those babies that are being raised and fed intravenously with liquefied dead people, as they make a statement here. And then there is bugs here. I thought they were bugged, right? But now I think they are being made into bugs. They lose their functionality or their humanity, although they look and act and are capable of being human, but they're raised into bugs, right?
the machines had found
As you can see, there you go, bugs here.
all the energy they would ever need.
All the energy that they would ever need. Meaningly, the energy or the soldiers or the production or anything else. This is similar to saying, I have enough cattle on my hand to slaughter and breed and reproduce, to continue living more than I would need. So my ranch, their ranch and their farm has all these cattle. So they consider human as cattle that produces whatever, right? Now, here I told you you saw the hand with claws, right? Plucking a baby. And it has like these very long, sharp claws and so on, right? As you can see, there's one here, right? Right there, right? As you can see, there's a claw here. Here, the gist of it is demonic entities thrive on human babies and human fetuses and so on and so forth, right? That's all there's to it. That is something I understand now. This is the hand of a demon, right? You know, this is a hand of a demon plucking a baby out. Of course, there are other things you can try to decipher here, such as the number of these slots or openings or drilled holes, you know, and other things as well. But I don't want to go that far. As it is, I'm already getting sick of it. So as you can see, these are demons plucking babies off. And again, as I mentioned earlier, this is similar to War of the Worlds, right? All these big machines, right?
Where human beings are.
I thought I wanted to show you Neo's face again, the look on his face, the impression after he was seduced by Morpheus, shape-shifting Rabbi Morpheus, or the 666 or whatever it is, the one who seduced Adam and Eve. The Adam Street Bridge from heaven. So when he driven him to Adam Street Bridge, he was prepping him for it. Uh-oh. All I can see is a pair of shoes here. Okay, here Morpheus makes a statement that I thought I heard before in the past. So now he's got his reflective sunglasses.
Hey, but until we do, these people are still a part of that system. And
Let's repeat that again.
around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. Have to
That makes them our enemies. Where did I hear that? I thought George W. Bush, while he was golfing, readying for the 2003 invasion of Iraq, which killed hundreds of thousands and killed and wounded hundreds of thousands of US troops, right? And then at least couple of million Iraqi innocent civilians. And then that was continued later by Obama and then continued by Trump, right? Of course, they called it ISIS. There's no ISIS there. Anyways, so that's what I heard. You're either with us or you're against us. Do you remember George W. saying that? You're either with us or you're against us. I'm going to repeat that for you again.
Lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy.
That makes them our enemy. So if you're not Zion, if you're not in Zion, that's what they're talking about. You can accuse me of being anti-Semitic all you want, right? But they're talking about Zion. If you're not part of Zion, you're their enemy.
You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect.
That they will fight to protect it.
Are you listening to me, Neo?
Dependent on the system. What does he mean by that, right? Many of the organizations now, especially the occults, or even Zion and its masonry. In masonry, from what I was able to observe and surmise and sort out, is that they're so dependent and controlled by masonry, as stated by Morpheus himself to Neo when he was talking to him in the no man's land, the desert of the real, just in the previous scene, and then the TV and so on, that you're just basically under control. So those people who are there dependent on Zion for some food and some fodder and some seeds to pick and so on, they're not ready to part with it because they will be out on their own, right? As Trinity told Neo when she showed him that alley that I talked to you about, that I explained. That alley looks like a racing track with stalls or sheds that for horses, and that he's going to be an animal, treated like an animal and alone, right? That's what he means by that. They are ready to fight for it, right? But at the same time, he's talking about Zion and the masonry it controls. Okay, I think I have a better bearing, better understanding of a certain stretch here. Let me show it to you.
Signal and ran into the missions. Most of my crew, you already know.
That's the one that remains, if you recall, along with Morpheus and Tank, and then the new Neo, the one that she conceived.
This is APOC?
APOC, now notice, the look here on his face, on APOC, right? He doesn't show you, see, he hides the entire face behind APOC, right? So will he switch?
Switch?
But the look on his face is normal. And then he looks away. But now, I think the hint here is that my initial take on it is an explanation is that Morpheus is warning, he knows what Cypher is. He's wearing red, right? So he's warning Neo about him. But now I don't think that's the case. I think the hint here is that Morpheus really, in fact, controls Neo. He's behind him. He's operating him. And Cypher, as I mentioned to you earlier, he is the messenger, and Cypher and so on. So that's Muhammad, the prophet or the messenger. So notice, I'm going to play this slowly. He doesn't show, now the look on his face changes, shifts into an ominous look. So that's what he's saying, right? Is that he is behind him, and as if his right arm is pointing toward him. You notice he's hiding behind him. Meaningly, here, first I thought he's warning Neo. Now I am almost sure the hint or the undercurrent here, or the underlying hint, is that Morpheus, who seduced us, humanity from heavens, is really the one who controls Muhammad. Can't be farther from the truth, folks. And Cypher, right? Notice the look and the gesture, right? I don't know what that is all about, right? Unless you understand the body language or secret occult gestures, maybe you can tell me. I don't know. Unless this is a homosexuality here. Same thing here. All right, let's move to another scene. I just wanted to elucidate my understanding of it as of now. What is this scene is all about? So here I explained these in the start. You could see blue lights. They are sucking up his energy and producing light. What are the reds? They're not lights. They're just needles, right? I cannot explain that. Maybe needles are sticking him with poison and stabbing him, or stinging him with poison, stabbing him with poisonous whatever, right? Because he took the red pill, remember? And these are the blue lights that are being extracted from him. So the blues, or Zion, genuine children of Zion, right? They're extracting energy from him. So he's being used by the blues. But what is the role of the reds? I cannot tell really. I think these are probably just other Neos. So here I have another indicator. As he said, now I said I am pretty concluded, or my evidence that Cypher is being portraying or playing the role of Muhammad, the prophet or the messenger here. There's one more hint here I would like to tell you about.
Whoa! Neo, you scared the bejesus out of me. Okay.
You said,
The Matrix? Yeah. You can straight.
So in the Matrix, I wanted to mention that earlier. You always will see
always look at it in coding?
Well, you have to.
you will always see 6 hex or hexagonal stars, right? Which is the Star of Zion. You'll always see it mingling. Meaning here is the agents of Zion dressed as green or Muslims in the Matrix, which is really the life, right? Us, humanity. And they have their blues, right? Here and there. So blue, 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 blue. Who they are, I can't tell, right?
You can transfer. It is working.
Now you may say this is an asterisk. Yeah, possibly. But guess what? The asterisk, I believe, is more than 6 sides.
To decode the Matrix.
6 points.
You get used to it. I don't even see the code. All I see is blonde, brunette.
Here they're accusing that personality, or the personality of Muhammad, is being womanizer, right? Or male chauvinist. No, not male chauvinist. What is that term? Give me a second. Yeah, so he's a male chauvinist and misogynist, or masculist, right? So that's what when they portray him, the way he's dealing with Trinity, talking to Trinity, as well as now here brunette and blonde and whatever. But here he says something else. They always accuse us, Muslims or the Prophet Muhammad, of being so and so. Can't be farther from the truth, folks.
You want a drink?
So you want a drink, right? But he looked over his shoulder when he proposed the drink, right? You want a drink, right? So he was trying to hide it. Meaningly, that's another hint or an indicator that he's talking about Muhammad. Because in Islam, alcohol is forbidden. But in their private conversations, I heard this from some Middle Eastern people that although he forbade alcohol, he used to sneak up some. Can't be farther from the truth, folks. So that's another indicator. I'm pretty much concluded now that they mean Muhammad by that. I think he's wearing green here, right? Okay, we'll move to the next scene. So I explained at the end, toward the end when Neo got killed, that Neo could be Nazism, he could be Hitler. And I explained earlier in an earlier video that he is a template, meaning he could be anyone. So now I'm thinking he is not just Hitler, he is Hitler, he's Anwar Sadat, he is Anwar Sadat, right? He was killed as well. He is probably Yasser Arafat, but I doubt that guy. He's Khomeini, he's Hitler, he's Pinochet, he's Castro, he's Mao Zedong, he's Pol Pot, all these despots that did a horror on humanity. I think they're all Neos, and they're probably included here. Again, we're back to the main riddle of the movie. I had a thought yesterday. Is that Trinity taking a different shape? I mean, the looks are unmistakable. So is that Trinity? Possible. But I said it's a goblin, and that's how they extract material. And the Buddhist monk is really the ones that supposedly levitate and shapeshift and so on, right? There's also the story, I told you about the story of the cell phone being private communications for Zion, and the landline is basically communication through networks and fraternities and occults and so on. I still stand by that one, but I think now there is a possibility, and this I do have sense of, but not a conclusive evidence to it, is that those people, the Morpheus and the Trinity and the tank and the agents, they do communicate by higher frequency or some kind of a medium that we humans do not sense or realize. I'm not conclusive, I don't have a conclusive evidence on that, but I have some senses that this is the case really. They see behind the walls, right? They see through matter. They are like interdimensional, and they communicate by mediums that we do not feel or sense. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here's what I mean by seeing through and talking by way of mediums or dimensional communications that we humans, such as myself, do not realize or feel. Again, I counted those again, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? So 111. All right.
He is the one.
He is the one, right? But they will wait until Trinity extracted his sperm and then killed him. So the sperm that shows on the screen in a little bit is really him, that original sperm that got damaged. I told you it doesn't look right. And now we're back to, the dark eye and so on. And here's what I mean, see through, see in a different dimension or frequency or light or, somehow, as you can see, cats, for example, they do see various shades of light, and they are very capable of seeing through the dark. In fact, cats do see in the dark better than they see during the day. Now you see it, now you don't. Okay, continuing, and more here hints. Here are more hints. So as I explained, Trinity is Israel. I explained earlier, you know, their gestures, fighting with an Uzi gun, running away and protected by the gun on the banner of 1-6 and so on. I explained all that. And then toward the end, I explained in the last video that that's the only one remains. She's the wife of Satan. I mean Morpheus, right? Not Satan, excuse me. I make typo, you know, like mistakes sometimes. And then her children are supposedly Tank and Bulldozer, right? And then now she's after the one that is God, right? How do I know that they mean God by Neo? Here it comes.
Hello, Trinity.
Cypher, where's Tank?
So now they say that they're trying to say that Prophet Muhammad, or Messenger, peace be upon him, he was always into Judaism or Jews or something of the sort, right? The fact is he was married 1-to-1, right? One of his wives was a Jewess called Safiya. Safiya is an Arabic name which is deformed into a Western name called Sophia, right? So he was actually married to one, and she loved him, and she told him things about her parents and the leaders of her community and so on, right? So that's what they're saying. He's in love with Israel, but he's just not one, nor is he accepted, because he's not a genuine child of Zion.
No. A long time.
Long time.
I thought I was in love with you.
They keep disparaging Cypher, even though he tells you the truth, right? As I explained in earlier videos. The guy just tells you the truth about what's going on, right? They disparage him. They make him look like he's a womanizer, male chauvinist, misogynist. They also tell you that, you know, he's awkward, you know, he's always after Trinity, which is Israel, right? Or Judaism, or Zion for that matter. Let's say Zion, right? Right? And then he drinks surreptitiously, you know, like looking over his shoulder and blah, 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 blah. And there's like your 4-1 here, right? So 4-1. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Well, there's 4-1. Some occultists in the Middle East and Judaism in particular, Jews, they flash that for you. I don't know what the heck that is. And here you'd see the waterfall, and as if this is heaven, you know, play thing, and I don't know. Everything here has an indicator, right? And he is also, they make him like serve in the kitchen, right? And so on and so forth. And then they portray him when he's eating the steak, which I will show you, that he's really have some bad sexuality. Like, I'll show you in a minute.
You're a beautiful woman, Trinity.
Bad things have to turn out this way.
You killed them.
What?
Oh God.
He says, okay, notice,
Oh God.
he killed them. Okay, let me repeat that.
Bad things have to turn out this way.
You killed them.
What?
What? Oh God. He killed them. Oh God. This is the first time they say the word oh God. So what they're saying is Muhammad, sometimes in their occults, and the Jews as well, they say Muhammad is Allah or God, right? And then he killed them. Oh God. So that's what they mean by it. Is that Cypher has killed them, but he is oh God, right? So you see? And that's wrong, of course. All that is bullshit. But hey, you know what? I'm just trying to make you understand what this movie is all about. It's taken that long. It's taken me that long to decipher all of it, and not even all of it. But what does that tell you? It tells you that it took a lot of time for the script to be developed and the story and so on to be developed. And if you thought the Kukukowskis were the ones who done it, I think you ought to reconsider. Either some real demons made it for them, or this is probably Zion producing such work. Now, I heard they were prosecuted by somebody who said she had the script. And that's a possibility, because I noticed through software development and here and there, sometimes you invent something good and they take it and they make it as a framework, if you will, and they add all these details to it. So there has to be a sketch for a performance or a sketch for a symphony. So somebody developed a sketch, but then all these hints and details were added to it later. So they built on it. So if that woman in in Utah or wherever else who sued the Kukukowskis for stealing the script, so it's a possibility that she wrote a skeleton or a structure that they built upon, or their people built upon. Computers and writings are far more monitored than you think, and a lot is stolen, especially in the software business. How would you know your work is stolen? You just can't, right? Or your proposals or your inventions or your whether it's medical or anything else. I mean, you can know, but you're going nowhere. Zion is standing there like a predator, stealing everything that passes by, basic and simple. So that's that. And she said, oh God, so I know for a fact that they consider Muhammad as a God, right? Or God himself manifested himself in Muhammad. Or he's already on earth or something of the sort. Right? So they tell you that he's into, you know, Israel or Zion. So I said Trinity is Israel. Okay, call her Zion. Genuine child of Zion. When Tank said he is a genuine child of Zion, that means he is the son of Trinity.
Being cold, eating the same goddamn goop every day. But most of all,
I'm tired of that jack-off and all this bullshit.
So that I believe that is also a hint at him being you know, gay or something, that he's, you know, as Morpheus did Neo when he was talking to him, as I mentioned earlier in bed, he effed him. This probably guy was being effed by Morpheus as well. So Morpheus is probably, from what I'm seeing here, is a homosexual as well. But this is also a gesture, right? Sometimes when you say somebody effed somebody else or shafted them, it doesn't mean not necessarily physically, but rather than, you know, if somebody gave the slip to somebody or stole their money or cheated them or tricked them and they still don't feel a shit, right? That means they effed them. And the Zionists, from what I know, the Zionist personalities, oh, they enjoy that stuff for some reason or another. But they make sure they're keen on staying anonymous.
God, I wish I could do that. Make break here. I wish I could walk in just when it happens. So right then, you know it was me.
You gave him Morpheus.
You lied to us, Trinity.
He tricked us.
Which is true.
If you would have told us the truth,
Yeah.
we would have told you to shove that red pill right up your ass.
But as I explained to you, life, according to Zion, life is not like that. Life, you have to be able to sort things out. This is similar. What they're trying to say here is Cypher and Neo and me, a human, and everybody else. We have to sort things out on our own. This is what in the animal kingdom, what they do in the animal kingdom. Take, for example, cats. At one point, a mother cat basically weans her kittens, right, and then abandons them. They have to survive. But then she hasn't initiated them much into life. So the only way for them to survive is either by a chance, right? Similar to, what's his name? Shigur, right? Shigur is a quarter in Damascus, Shugur, right? Or Shagur in Damascus. That's where I think the, near the Jewish quarter or something like that, Shigur or Shagur, right? He flips a coin. To him, that's survival. Here, us humans, that's what Zion thinks of us, is we have to survive on our own, right? Once we leave. But they make sure we're not initiated, meaningly. We're blindfolded, isolated in a very small group, blindfolded, deafened, and muted. And then when they unleash us or let us run and become their prey, right? We don't know much. So now that's what they're saying. He is saying, if you told us the truth, but he did, and indirectly. So now Cypher, you and I, you humans, must sort things out on our own. Otherwise, we will be taken by false sense of warmth, warmth, right? Or th, MTH, right? Warmth, like love and care and so on, which is all fake sometimes, right? We have to sort through that. Otherwise, we like the cozy corner and we sit down in a comfy corner or cozy corner or place of security while we get our food and things of the sort, and then we settle down. But the time comes when they really prey on us, right? Those very same people. This is the concept of a cattle ranch, folks. You feed the cattle and they jam against the door of the slaughterhouse and they don't know. And this has been happening for thousands of years. That's what this is all about here. If you told us, but he told you indirectly. If, for example, a cow or a bull becomes a little bit smarter and wanders about and enters the slaughterhouse and then understand what the slaughterhouse is, then he will know why he is being fed so much, right, and cared for, and antibiotics and hormones and so on, and they're happy, right? And they're just not just that, they're reproducing. Oh, I can write a book on that. But the slaughterhouse is already there. Cypher just needed to see it. He indicated it to him time and again, right? Well, he did to Neo, but I am sure he did Cypher as well. Now, if this Cypher is Muhammad, as I concluded, then there is no such thing. Muhammad was not misled or anything else. He's just a messenger of God, and that's that, right? But then he shows you, even though he tells you the truth, right? Cypher tells you the truth. They disparage him, they scorn him, they loathe him, they despise him, they humiliate him, and so on. And the last humiliation I will show you in a little bit.
It's not true, Cypher. He set us free.
From what? Free from what?
You call this free? All I do is what he tells me to do.
True. He told Neo that when he got him cornered in the metacortex building, right? I can guide you, but you have to do exactly as I say. Remember what he said?
I gotta choose between that and the Matrix. I choose the Matrix.
That is humanity, and the Matrix is humanity. I would choose that as well.
The Matrix isn't real.
I disagree, Jim.
Oh, it's real.
I think the Matrix can be more real than this one. All I do is pull the plug here. But there.
You have to watch APOD die. Welcome to the real world, huh, baby?
But you're out, Cypher. You can't go back.
Oh no, that's what you think.
You're gonna reinsert my body. I go back to sleep, and when I wake up, I'll remember a goddamn thing.
By the way, if you have anything terribly important to say to Switch,
I suggest you say it now.
No, please don't.
Not like this. Not like this.
So, I have a feeling, I'm not sure about that the killing of Switch and APOC was part of the plan. They wanted to get rid of APOC and Switch. And then, as I showed you earlier, how Morpheus walked looking weird behind Cypher, patting him on the shoulder and then showing him for some reason as if he's controlling him from behind. So I do believe, if that's the case, and I now believe that's what, at least that's what they think or would like to believe, that they control him, right? And that said, so Cypher set him up. No, Morpheus set up Cypher to kill these two, right? But then, of course, he didn't count on it, maybe, that he was going to shoot Tank and Dozer, maybe, I don't know. So this is just a theory here. Otherwise, I think killing Cypher, killing APOC, and as well as Switch, and before them, Mouse, I think that was managed all and secured by Morpheus himself.
Too late.
God damn you, Cypher.
Don't hate me, Trinity. I'm just a messenger.
He's just a messenger. Get it? Get it? Okay. Alright, I'm gonna move to the second or the next scene. Alright, now I'm gonna explain to you something here. That's what I'm seeing. But this movie has a homosexual tract, or this, all kind of sexual tracts, right? Embedded in it. Maybe you don't see it, maybe you do, and as I explained it. But they despise him so much, right? And they try to destroy him so much and stereotype him and lie about him and whatnot, right? So here's how they show him.
Doesn't exist. I know that when I put it in my mouth, the Matrix is telling my brain that it is juicy
Mouth and juicy, right?
and delicious.
And delicious.
After 9 years, you know what I realized?
Notice his gestures and the look on his face. They're accusing him of being, they're saying he's a homosexual here. You don't believe me? Just wait a little bit. I'm still struggling with the harp. I think that's Sylvester, the cat riding on a cloud with wings and playing the harp going to heavens.
Then we have a deal.
I don't want to remember nothing. Nothing.
I don't want to remember nothing, meaningly he wants all that to be erased from history. All that he's done and so on, erased from history.
Listen. I don't want to be rich. You know, someone.
I mean, here they're making him look like a real low quality type figure here.
Important.
And elsewhere, of course.
Like an actor.
Whatever you want, Mr. Rigman.
I'm unable to figure out that. You see it now and then it disappears. I don't know what that is. Maybe somebody can put a note in my video,
Okay.
on my video.
Get my body back in the pound.
Okay, now I want you to observe how he handles the cigar, and you tell me I am wrong.
You insert me into the Matrix, I'll get you what you want.
Access codes to the Zion mainframe.
No, I told. I don't know them.
Notice,
I'll get you the man who does.
Morpheus.
did you see that?
Morpheus.
I'm going to slow it down for you. Did you see it? That's him. That's what they're saying he is. Can't be farther from the truth, folks. Can't be farther from the truth. And then right after it, you see that. Again, it could be only embedded because the Kukukowskis were gays or homosexuals. And they wanted to kind of have like a background hint or tinge to it, according to how they feel and how they think. So they forced it on the actors and lipsticks and stuff. But then again, notice, Cypher is always being humiliated and denigrated and stepped on and so on. Okay. I think we all know what Black Cat is, and I explained that before, Black Dog, but I think here they're being invaded by an evil spirit. Their lodge and their hotel and their hovercraft and their whatnot, right? And the hotel and Nebuchadnezzar and room 303 and so on. So they're being invaded by a demon, right? But I think what they mean by it is that now this is Cypher because Cypher, according to the narrative here, is the one that is giving them up. You know, he's the mole, he's the traitor, right? That's what I think it is. Right? So that's what I think. Okay, I have a different approach to this now. Neo knows what's being said, as I explained earlier and before, right? But what does he mean when he addresses Neo and says, "What was said is said for you alone"? Right? He's smiling. It's a typical case. They always do the same thing. They always fall in the same trap. They always lose their sperms here and there and so on. That's it, right? He just went in there, met his own children, right? And so on, and he's clueless. That's the smile.
What was said
What was said,
was for you.
and for you alone. What was said is for you and for you alone. Look at the threatening looks. Here's what that means. If you confide this to someone else, like a relative who cares for you, such as a mother, such as a father, or a big brother, right? They may tell you, "What the heck? Where were you? Oh, they stole your sperm. Oh, blah, 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 blah," and they're gonna kill you. So what was said is for you alone. Don't confide that to anyone else, right? Keep that evil secret within your heart, is what they're saying here, right? Because that secret, if it comes out, and if you divulge it or disclose it to anyone else, they may try to wake you up to the fact, right? You see what I'm saying? They're threatening him because they know the scheme and scam they just pulled on him, pulled his legs, is not airtight. It could be broken. It's easily broken. The only reason he submitted to it and he succumbed to it is because he's uninitiated. The guy is just blank. He lived alone all his life. He was never talked to, prevented from knowledge, prevented from, they alerted him to nothing. You understand? They basically, he was a clone. He didn't have parents. Parents usually instruct their children what's good, what's bad, blah, blah, unless they themselves are clones, right? So there is an effort that is going on for thousands of years by the Morpheus, right, to keep the Neos in the dark. And when you're in the dark all your life, you just don't know anything, right? Anything can trick you, anybody can trick you, anything can fall on you. You can trip, anybody can rob you, anybody can steal from you, anybody can do that, right? And that's precisely what this is all about, is don't say this to anyone, otherwise they will alert you, they will wake you up, they will tip you off to the deception, or they may realize also that there's a Morpheus doing a bad job in the neighborhood, right? Notice the looks, right? These are digitally altered, right? Of course, but now he's trying to influence him. Like scowl and stare. That stare down, a hard stare. Don't do that or else, right? Now he goes back inside and covers his eye. My belief is that wearing dark sunglasses is for a number of reasons, one of which is those who wear dark sunglasses, some of them, not all, they are covering their reality, which is their eyes, they're demons, they're not humans. So while they're wandering and moving about among humans, even tricking them, they cover their eyes, right, with black shades or sunglasses, dark sunglasses, tinted sunglasses. And that's probably who he is, right? Or he is, and 8 and 4. There's 4, 1, 4, 1. And prior to that, right, what did you see? So this guy is the son, I don't know, this 8, and there's 6, 41, 641, right? 641. And here is the 41. 41, 41, 41, and then there's the 8. Let's see if we can find anything, any reflections in Morpheus's sunglasses. No, we don't see that. Okay, next scene. So Neo, from birth, or from cloning, or from artificial insemination, is basically in a solitary confinement. And that's how his cell is indicated by. It's a steel, made of steel, right? Like in a submarine, right? But it's a steel cage, not even a net, not even an opening. He's totally isolated in that room. Let me show you actually. Okay, this is what I mean to say about the lockup. He's locked up in a steel cage, right? There's not a screen or a window, and he's 100% monitored, as I explained by that monitor, right? And he's totally isolated from birth. He was just cloned, right? From birth until they kill him. He's totally isolated, not instructed. Remember, I mentioned to you every time he asks about something, because we humans are inquisitive by nature, right? That's how we learn. We learn by experience. Unlike other creatures such as angels or demons or jinns, we humans have limitless space to learn, and we are able to learn way beyond any other creature, right? But it comes by way of learning. However, here, if you take a human being as they're proposing here, isolate them, put them into a solitary confinement, they will be blank. And like I said earlier, I admitted when I came to the United States, I was basically blank. I could not fathom anything around me. And I stayed blank for a long time, as a matter of fact, until I began to get some hints around me is when the light broke in, right? And then I got the thread and I tore down the whole building. Basically, that's how capable we humans are. So as I mentioned, 22 being the number of Judaism or Zion, 21 being the number of the devils or whatever it is, and then there's 5 here. So there's 5 and there's 21 holes, right? And there's something here. This here is basically a solitary confinement. That's all there's to it. And those you meet and talk with are just the ones that you see. Morpheus and company, right? And eventually all these will be shed off the Zion, and only Trinity, which is Zion or Israel, and then her husband Morpheus, and then Tang, and then the new Neo. They captured the god, right? And now they shed everybody, but they lost Bulldozer on the way, right? So it wasn't totally clean, right? And here there's a telephone. So that's the only way of communications, or they enter on him, right?
This is the noonday.
Again, I want to mention to you something, but I don't want to go back to that scene. And that is the passport, those 1960s dates, the 60s, whether it's 62 or 65 or 67 and so on, or 69. These are the upheavals in Syria and Egypt and Israel, but mainly in Syria. And it's a little bit or much relevant to the what we call the family of the donkey, or Asad. Asad is an assumed name. The family's name is really the beast or something of the sort, and the birth of the current butcher and the previous, his father and so on. And I was born there in the 60s, and I believe Neo himself was born in Beirut in the 60s as well. So the 60s got something to do with Syria and its personalities. Oh boy, again, I'm trying to put myself in this movie, but I just can't. Okay, I have a note to make about this here. I thought he pressed number 8, but in fact he pressed number 9, floor number 9, right? And then there's 11 and 13 and so on. So he pressed number 9. Now number 9 may indicate the ninth gate. Again, a movie by Johnny Depp, and then it was released pretty much at the same time, 1999. As you can see, all these satanic movies and so on were released in that year, between 98 and 99. A lot of them. Maybe not all of them, you know, but if you search in 1998 through 1999, you will see a lot of these demonic movies were released about that time, right? So the ninth gate. And then here,
So is this the same oracle that means?
so here,
I told you I can only show you the door.
I can only show you the door, but you have to walk through it. Again and again, he emphasizes, this is your decision, right, Neo? So he preps him and projects certain psychological state on him or power, right? And then he coerces him indirectly with subliminal projection, right? Commands, subliminal commands. And then I can show you the door, but you have to walk through it, right?
You have to walk through it.
Now, I told you this looked like a gun, right? And then under his shoulder or under his jacket, covered by a jacket, gun barrel. But you know, this could be something else as well, because like I said, in this movie, there's plenty of homosexuality as an underlying current or tone by the Kukukowskis, right? So this could be something else as well. You know, could be something else as well, but it could be a gun, right? Like a gun covered by a jacket or something. So what's amazing about this movie, right, and other movies as well, but this particular one, is that it could be understood by a number of people. Number one are the rabble, right? They excited about shooting and right? And there's the next layer, right, that can read things like that, right? That's the next type of people who look at it. The third type is they see a certain flow of undercurrent or undertone, right, of homosexuality. The fourth kind see the religious and historic element in it. So if you're initiated in history and know history, you will know what this is talking about, right? So that's why this movie, our unconscious really found it to be a riddle and then understood some, but we didn't. So some of us liked it because they just like, what's going on in there, you know, oh, the Matrix, blah, blah. And they also were subject to media promotion, unconscious, subconscious promotion, whether at the workplace or in the media or social media, blah, 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 blah. You know, they influenced you, so you like it, and now you talk Matrix. And I've seen it like becoming a screensaver at work. Sometimes I see a lot of my colleagues, especially the younger ones, with screensavers like showing the Matrix and so on. These guys don't know what's going on here. As I just explained to you, 4 elements in this. There is the religious element, there is the homosexual element, there is the psychological element, and there is the hint of who is who, and so on and so forth. But then there is the flow of cloning. They really show you a lot of bitter facts here. Yet those who are not well aware or awakened, they like it for what it is not, right? And that's not there. All right, I want to show you something else here. Okay, the buildings that show up in every time they're on the roof, and they show you buildings with all these signs on them, like companies, corporations, blah, blah. These are the owned, supposedly, I think, owned by Zion, right? So when you see a consulting firm or a bank or whatnot, that's Zionism, right? Owned business.
Dodge this.
That's a Beretta, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Italian Beretta.
how did you do that?
Do what?
You moved like they do. I've never.
So you move like they do means he is very fast. I mean, he's their kind, not her kind. He's an angel. He's got that God and man in him.
He didn't even move that fast.
Wasn't fast enough.
No answer to that. Wasn't fast enough. She knows different.
Can you fly that thing?
Or she accepted that from him, and now she will do some adjustment on him to make him a little bit faster, or at least to compensate for the deficiency of being less fast or slower than the real agents of whom he comes from. So he's one of the agents, let's put it this way.
Not yet.
Operator.
Tank, I need a pilot program for a B-212 helicopter.
B212, I don't know what B212 is. Sounds like that hormone, or not hormone, vitamin B12 that's good for to build, important to build your nervous system.
Hurry.
That must be funny.
Let's go.
I want to show you something here. Okay, I want to show you something here. Okay, as you can see, Citibank shows a game. So one of the two. I told you in my earlier series how I got tricked by Citibank when I was 18, 19. When I landed in this country, oblivious to the danger and that I just landed into something hellacious, right? So here, and they charged me like 21% on my credit cards. But here it means one of two. Either they compensated him for doing what he is doing, or better still, I think Citibank is financing the operation of this helicopter and then the fight over the roof. The fight over the roof may mean heavens, fight in heavens, I don't know, but the Citibank here is definitely financing the operation, right? And I want to show you something here. Well, Morpheus turned out to be a coward weasel. Notice what happens. This here on the window, when she collided with the glass, it looks like an eye to me, right? There's an eye, right? This is an eye. So she just destroyed the eye. I don't know whose eye is that. All right, let's continue. All right, now he calls him something here. Notice.
My phone! Mr. Wizard!
Mr. Wizard. What does a wizard do? I don't know, you tell me.
Get me the hell out of here!
So you tell me what a wizard. Again, you see Cypher doing service, right? Everybody else is sitting and playing cards and so on, but not Cypher. Cypher is being the guy who tells the truth, right? But yet again, they link him or they portray him as something lowly. I consider Cypher in this movie to be the guy of honor, right? Because he woke up and then he tried to do something about it. Now, I don't know if I'm seeing things, but I am looking at Mouse's ear here, right? And as if it's bleeding, right?
We're faster than this. Don't think you know.
Come on, stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Yeah. Now notice Cypher here. I don't know if that's him, the main Cypher, right? Or who that is, but it does look like Cypher to me, right? Now that's one evil look here. Notice how he, his eye, right? And then again, this guy's ears, I don't know what's going on. He needs to go see a doctor or something.
I know what you're trying to do.
Eyes are all black here. There's no humanity.
Trying to free your.
He's talking to his spirit or whatever is in him.
But I can
Trying to free his mind? I think he's trying to.
show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it.
He said it again. Remember? Show you the door. You're the one who has to walk through it. Meaningly, that's also what was said in front of the door to the oracles or that sperm storage facility or fertility clinic.
Tank. Load the jump program.
Again, maybe I'm seeing things. I think Mouse needs to go see a doctor for those ears. It's kind of bleeding, right?
If he makes it, once if I make the first jump, I know. But what if he does?
He won't.
Okay, we'll stop here. I think we covered good grounds today. There are still a couple of more videos, probably more. And eventually I'm gonna go tired of this movie and whatever, you know. But I think whoever you are, if you're watching, and I hope everybody is watching, now you have a different understanding of this movie. And by the time you watch my series, the first one and this one, I think you will not like it anymore. Have a nice day. Talk to you later.